A lot more sale signs have popped up across Florida neighborhoods like this one. Home sales in the Sunshine State have more than doubled in some areas since 2019. For over a year, mortgage rate has been the lowest in the U.S. history, a number not seen even in the last 2008 recession. After a terrible year for the airline industry, people are flying again. Tampa International Airport is gearing up for the upcoming peak season. Florida Farm Finder is a Facebook page that's boosting the farming community during the pandemic. Now, finding fresh local products is easier than you think. It's that time of the year where political signs are popping up in neighborhoods just like this. Unfortunately, in the blink of an eye, are being snatched. Many small businesses around the states are urging the Florida State's representative to support legislation that will protect them and their customers.
It's the first of the month, and that means rent is due. Ginette Troya is in the newsroom to explain how people in Pinellas County can now get some extra federal help.
Pinellas County opened applications for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program to help renters avoid eviction. The program is made possible by a government grant of $20.4 million. It's open to people who are behind on rent payments. If you live by yourself, you may be eligible if you earn less than $39,000 last year. A family of two qualified if last year's income was under $45,000. The county will make the payments directly to the landlords or property managers. In the newsroom, I'm Ginette Troya.
Ginette Troya joins us now from the newsroom as we head into Florida Food Waste Prevention Week.
A growing population, tourism, and a large agriculture industry all contribute to the production of over 1 million tons of food waste every year in Florida. That's according to a group of nonprofits and government agencies that came together to create the Florida Food Waste Prevention Week. Hello and welcome to Florida Focus. I'm Ginette Troya. Reporter Julio Martinez showed us how Boards for Bros is impacting life one skateboard at a time. The CDC placed restrictions on the industry after more than 3,000 coronavirus cases were linked to cruise ships. Now DeSantis is urging the federal government to lift the no-sale order to help Florida's economy.
Jobs are very, very important, and it's not just people that work for the cruise industry. I think you're going to see today with some of the folks that we'll introduce, this has a ripple effect throughout all kinds of small businesses, mom and pop operations that service the cruise industry.
The International Associations of Cruise Lines estimate Florida lost $32.7 billion in revenue because of the shutdown. That impacted tens of thousands of jobs. As ships across the globe look to sail again, many cruise lines are requiring passengers to be vaccinated before boarding. To learn more about these requirements, you can visit usfnewsroom.com. In the newsroom, I'm Ginette Troya.
A new fiscal report found that Florida's anti-riot bill could cost taxpayers more than $17 million a year. Ginette Troya joins us in the newsroom to explain the controversial bill and what it means for you.
House Bill 1 is an attempt to make protesting punishable by up to 15 years in prison if it becomes a law. Governor Ron DeSantis proposed it in response to last summer Black Lives Matter protests. The Florida House just passed it last week. Every Democrat opposed the bill, calling it a racist attempt to suppress free speech. Florida already has the third largest prison system in the U.S. New research conducted by economist Rick Harper found the anti-riot bill would put more people behind bars, increasing Florida State's prison's $2.7 billion budget. Harper says the bill could lead to 700 more people being in prison at any given time. The bill still has to clear several committees before it becomes law.
My life hasn't really been as pretty.
Nearly 700,000 children are abused in the U.S. each year. That's according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Ingrid was one of them. I'm Ginette Troya. On tonight's episode of Florida Focus, we'll share her story of survival. We're calling her Ingrid to protect her privacy. Ingrid agreed to share her story in hopes that other survivors will know they're not alone. We want to warn you this may be difficult for some people to watch. The rape, abuse, and incest national network estimates that a child is sexually assaulted every 9 minutes in this country.
I remember he came in my room and it happened when I was 7.
Most victims of sexual abuse are attacked by someone they know in their own home.
It's kind of sad knowing that your dad actually abused you. Knowing that he's not gonna grow up with you, but it's sad, yeah. But well, hopefully one day I can forgive him.
Fear kept her silent for years until one day she decided to share what had happened to her.
I remember that I told my teacher, She was the only one that believed in me for what was going on. My mom didn't believe me. Nobody from my family really believed me. I didn't really talk about it either, and so I literally broke silence.
According to Ray, more than 99% of predators are never incarcerated. Part of the reason is that DNA usually needs to be collected within 72 hours. While other exams can point to abuse, these tight deadlines make it nearly impossible for children to ever get justice.
Typically, about half of the children that are being identified in child abuse and neglect are under the age of 5, and 1 in 4 is an infant. So it's our youngest children are bearing the brunt and the burden of child abuse and neglect.
For 40 years, Champions for Children have worked to help people like Ingrid in the Tampa Bay area. Their mission is to build stronger families, focusing on child abuse prevention programs.
I feel like if the most important thing in our job, or any person in the community, is actually to look at the red flags. What's going on? What's changed in this child? So one of the most common things that we can identify with child abuse is how the kid behaves. A lot of times children behave very differently around certain people. It could be grandparent, uncle, even their own parent. Another red flag would be isolation.
About 8 years ago, Ingrid's life changed completely. A woman adopted Ingrid and her siblings. If you suspect that a child is a victim of abuse or neglect, please report it. Call these numbers. The Florida Abuse Hotline accepts reports 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
I will do whatever it takes to make my business survive.
The pandemic has caused this pirate fashion store big losses. Captain Taggerly is fighting to keep his business afloat.
My business has gone down probably about 60%. I make all my money normally at Halloween and Gasparilla, and all the months in between, I lose money.
Over 150,000 businesses came to an end. Many business owners laid off their employees, while others kept fighting to keep their crew complete.
I have 9 employees. I have not fired or made any of them walk the plank. You know, they work hard for me, and I'm, trying to support them.
Canceling Gasparilla targets stopping the spread of COVID, but leave many business owners in agony.
The impact to COVID for our organization is probably not as much as it is for other small businesses in the area. When we don't have the parade, we don't have to cover the cost of the parade, but it's all the other small businesses that feed every part of the parade.
It's like you're trying to swim upstream with a hook and a peg leg. And then with this latest news of Gasparilla, it's like adding an anchor around your neck and swimming upstream.
The closure of businesses and events has left over 7 million people without jobs, something not seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. And Gasparilla is the latest casualty. Reporting for USF Newsroom, I'm Ginette Troya.